Hi guys, this is GadgetMan404 and today I'm showing you around my local village. Hi, that is me, GadgetMan404, a little bit more in front of the camera. I'm flying my FreeX SkyView quadcopter. I believe the coding is the MCFX0-1. I'm going at altitude today as I now feel more confident since I've had the new motors replaced, and I feel quite happy to go at altitude and fly at altitude, whereas normally I would just hire up to a certain height and then that would be it. But now I'm quite happy to fly at a good 150 meters up with this quadcopter. It does have an OSD. I haven't installed it yet because I haven't purchased it, but you can purchase an OSD for this quadcopter, which will tell you your height, distance, battery life, satellites, etc., direction. I'm now just pushing forward as I'm coming to the top of this field, which is a good 250-300 meters long, and this quadcopter has got 1,000 meter range, so got no issues with not being able to make it to the top of this field. Now, because I am further down the field, I thought I was closer to these trees than I actually was, but my intention was to do this but when I was quite close to the trees. But as you see throughout the video, I think I am closer than I possibly am, or I overshoot it slightly. The FPV was playing up, so this is like guesswork that I was in the right place. But as you can see, it looks so awesome with the camera looking down as you're flying over roads and trees and all that type of thing. So I'm just flying over these trees, and then I will tip the camera forward, so then I can get a better view for you guys of where I'm actually going. Now, because I'm quite some distance away, I know what is at the further way down this field, because I've flown down this field before. So I decide to take a right and just sort of go, oh, I'll just go down here. Now, I don't know what's down here. It's been a long time since I've flown, but I'm really high. I'm a good 100. Well, as this field is a sloping field which slopes up, so from where I took off from, I was a lot higher than where I am now, because this field gradually increases as you go up the field. So the distance from the quad to the floor has reduced, but if I went backwards, the height would be exactly the same where I took off from. But I'm still pretty high. I'm a good 100 meters up. I want to go higher than this in the future. This was just a demonstration of how I can actually do this. I've not flown in this field for a very long time, but I think it's time to blow out the cobwebs and just have some fun with this quadcopter. I'm using my newer battery, a 33,000 or 3300 milliamp hour battery, 3S. I get at least 13 minutes of flight out of this battery. This flight was at least 50 minutes with the talk before the takeoff and the talk after the landing, but I've edited those bits out now, so you won't see those bits. This in front here is a storage depot. This is in West Hallam. In the war times, this was used to store ammunitions, etc. Now there's lots of warehouses here, Thornton's and biscuit companies and so on, and Vauxhall and BMW and Vauxhall and I think Volkswagen. They store lots of cars here, but they're out in the open. And also there's lots of people that store caravans here. I used to store my own camper van there, but it was getting more expensive each year, and as you can see, the site itself is very long, very wide, probably a mile long or half a mile, so there's a lot of land there to store anything and everything really. So I'm just sort of looking, I'm sort of flying sideways at this point. I thought I turned a little bit more than I actually did, but still I decide, well, you know, what have I got to lose? So I just keep enjoying the view. Quadcopter has gained some altitude now, as these fields are lower than the ones I was just in. I just think this quadcopter is understated. I don't think many people think it's a good quadcopter. The GPS is sensitive at times, as most quadcopters are, and it might be 5 feet away from where it took off from, but at least it finds its way home. And that is the main exercise, that you fly a quadcopter somewhere and you're able to get back home if you needed to, i.e. emergency, your battery runs low, you run out of signal, you fly too far away. This is set up that I've set it up to, you can either have it set to hover or return to home, and I've actually set mine to return to home. This is West Hallam to the right, or in front and to the right, and my house is literally to the right, and in the middle there's the village church, St Wilfrid's Church. I got married there, all my children have been christened there, and my grandparents have been buried there. So that's something, a little bit of info about me. Again, I am really high at this point. I'm flying at least 150 to 200 meters up, and as I'm flying over some trees, I thought I would put the camera down, as it just looks really cool. Hope you guys agree with this view. I'm going to do more flights with this. I need to sort out my FPV. When it's on the floor, I get signal. When I take off, it breaks up, and it's not the aerial, it's not the transmitter. I think it's where the lead from the transmitter goes into the camera. There's had a loose connection, and I just need to have a good look at that with my magnifying glass and see if there's any wires that I can reattach. I don't think they're properly loose, but with vibrations it makes the picture go really grainy, and I daren't totally rely on FPV. So as you can see, I'm really high at this point. I'm probably 200 meters high now in this field. As I say, that's the lower part of the field, and the beginning of this video I took off from here and then flew up, and then obviously an incline, and then the distance between the floor and the quadcopter is not as much as down the hill, because it's very steep hill. And I just think this view from when I do return to home in a minute, coming down like this, I just think it's really cool. I'm just sort of getting my bearings a little bit, thinking which is the front and which is the back, because I don't want it to fly home backwards. And then in a few seconds I will tilt the camera forward again, so then you can see, or I can get a bit more of a view of the horizon of where I'm coming, where I'm actually lowering. You'll see that briefly when I tip the camera forward. This has been it was a really cool day today, and this is nowhere near the heights of this quadcopter can do, and as I get more and more confident with this bird, I will push it higher and higher. There's 1,000 meters, which is just over or just under 3/4 of a mile, and I am going to go for it one day when I get the nerve. I will go really high, and I will fly around at that height as well, because I just think the world looks so different from above than eye level. When I'm in the field, it looks sort of like a yellowy green, but then you can't see how different the field I'm in is until the camera looks down. Everywhere else is really green, but where I land and take off from is quite discoloured, because they had the grass cut not that long ago, and with the sun it's literally baking the grass. So you know, that's why that field is a different colour to all the other fields. And I'm just lowering down now just coming down, and yeah, I mean, there's 10 minutes of flight now, and as I say, the battery's connected when it's looking for GPS, and then afterwards, so 3300 with this quad will get you 12.5, maybe 13 minutes. It wasn't too windy today. I was at altitude as well, which I don't know if that makes it harder to fly or easier. It might be windier up there than it is at the floor level, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy.